Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So today we are going to make an explosion box. This is going to be a 3-part box. It's going to be a 6-inch, a 4.5-inch, and a 3-inch. We're going to start with the base, and then we will do the lids, and then we will decorate and put it together. So, for the base of each box, you will need 4 pieces that are 6 by 12, 4 pieces that are 4.5 by 9, and 1 piece that is 9 by 9. On our 6 by 9 or 6 by 12s, sorry, you want the 12 inches at the top, and you want to score all of them at 6 inches. For the 4.5 by 9s, you want the 9 at the top, and you want to score at 4.5. And then with the 9 by 9, we're going to score at 3 and 6, and then you want to rotate it once, and we're going to score again at 3 and 6. We are going to start with the 6-inch. So we're going to fold and burnish all 4 of these pieces. So I went ahead and added some score tape to 3 of them. I'm going to build our 6-inch box now. The score tape is optional. You do not have to use it if you don't want to. I just find that it's easier for me to use it. We're going to add glue to one of the 6-inch sections on one of our pieces. And then I have another one here already laid open. And I'm going to fold this one halfway closed and line this piece up with my first one. And I like to take this piece, the bottom one, and then just kind of close it on top of the second one, and then close the second one on top of the first one, just to make sure that it's kind of squared up. We're going to move on to the third piece. So add your glue to one side. Just like so. And then I'm going to take this piece and lay it on top of my second piece. And again, I am lifting up the second piece so that I can line up the next piece on top of it to get it as square as possible. And our last piece. I'm going to do the same thing. Add your glue to one section. And then we're going to take this piece, put it on top of the third piece, and I'm just again lifting up this piece so that I can make sure that it's as square as I can get it, and then I'm just going to close all four of them just to make sure that it's as square as it can be. And it looks pretty good. So I'm actually going to add some pattern paper to the bottom, the inside bottom of my box. I'm going to glue the boxes together. You don't have to glue them together. You can keep them separate. You can keep them 3 separate boxes. But I'm going to glue mine together. So I'm going to add pattern paper to this box so that when they're all done, I can just glue them right together. And then I will be back and we will make the next box. So for the 4.5 inch, it is going to be the exact same method as with our 6 inch. We are just going to fold all of our pieces on the score marks and then glue them together, just like we did with the larger one. So I will do that really quick, and then we can do the 3 inch. So now we are going to work on the 3 inch box, and we have 9 squares in our paper. We want to cut out the 4 corners with the score mark. You want to cut the score marks out as well. Okay. You can use paper trimmer or scissors. I am going to use my X-Acto blade here. Whatever you're comfortable with. And again, you are cutting out the 4 corners with the score marks, okay? So I'm going to cut these 3 out and then we can go to the next step. Once you cut your pieces out, your box should look like this. And now we can fold and burnish our 4 sides. And our 3-inch box is ready. For the lids, you will need for the lids, you will need a piece that is 10 1/8 by 10 1/8, a piece that is 7 5/8 by 7 5/8, and a piece that is 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. On the 10 1/8 inch piece, you're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inches on all 4 sides. Okay, 1 and 2. For the 7 5/8, you're going to score at 3/4 and 1 1/2 inches on all sides. 3/4 and 1 1/2 inches. And then the 5 1/8 inch piece, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 1. And again, that is on all 4 sides. These lids are going to be done the exact same way. So I'm going to show you on the big piece how to do it, and then I will do the other 2 off camera. So to start out with, you want to grab your scissors, your X-Acto knife, whatever you want to use for this part. And we're going to be working on the 4 corners, the 4 squares in the corners. So first cut you're going to do is you're going to cut along on the outer edge The first cut you are going to make is on the left side of the score mark that's connected to these 4 squares, okay? So, got the first cut you're going to make is on the left side of the score mark of the 4 squares, okay? The next one is going to be on the right side of the center score mark. Of those 4 blocks. Then you're going to cut out the 2 outer blocks. Like that. And then I'm going to switch to my scissors for this part. Going to cut the bottom block off, and then you're going to miter the last square. So it should look like this. You want to do that to all 4 sides, and you want the tab to be going a different direction. So it's going to be kind of like a pinwheel. I'm going to cut these other 3/4, and then I will show you what it looks like. So this is what it should look like when it's all done. Your tabs are going in a pinwheel, okay? Now we are going to add our pattern paper to this before we fold it. It's easier to add it now before we put it all together, because then it's flat. So you want to add it to the inside center, okay? And then you want to add pattern paper to all of these sections. With these 2 pieces, you want to make sure that they're going the right direction. So let me fold one side to show you. So this is the inside of your box. Your tab right here is going to be like this, okay? So you want this piece to go this way, which means when you open it up, it goes if you're using a directional paper, it goes towards the center when it's flat, okay? The one connected to the centerpiece, you'll want, if it's directional, to go towards the outside. So the outer one goes towards the center, and the inner one goes towards the outside if you are going to do directional, so that when you close it up, or when you when you put it together, then the piece will go in the right direction. So this piece is going to be the bottom of both sections of the lid lip, okay? So again, you want the pattern, you want to cover the front, the outside, the whole thing, and then just the center of the bottom, okay? So I have my pattern paper for the inside of my lid, and then on this side I have the inside sides and then the full top done. Now I can put this together. First thing you want to do is fold and burnish on all of your score marks. Now we're going to take our tabs, and you want to put glue on the outside of your tab. And then you want to attach it to the next side like this, okay? And if you need to, you can set it up on your table and burnish it really well. I'm going to do that to all 4 of our tabs. Now your lid should look like this. Got all 4 tabs glued together. And now we can take our inside flaps here, our insides, and then glue them to the inside. This just helps strengthen the lid and also keeps the tabs from pulling up. And I did not come up with this lid on my own. I found another album creator here on YouTube, and this is how she makes her lids. I will link one of her videos below so that you can see how she does it. And here is the lid. You will do this 2 more times for both of these. I will make these 2 lids and then we can do the additional parts to our explosion box. All 3 of my lids are now done, and now we're going to work on the additional parts of the explosion box, starting with the 6-inch lid. You will need a piece that is 8 by 12 for this little addition to our lid here. Starting with the 12 inches at the top, you want to score at 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 8 1/2, and 8 3/4. Then you want to flip it around to the 8-inch side, and you want to score at 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 6 1/2, and 6 3/4. Grab your scissors or X-Acto knife or your paper trimmer, whatever you decide, and you want to cut out the outer corners and the small little pieces beside them, okay? There's basically the 4 corners. Again, you want to cut those 4 out. And you want to cut the score mark out with them. So like that. You have your 2 score marks here and here on this side, and then your other 2 score marks are here and here. And you cut out those 2 score marks along with the 4 squares. I'm going to go and cut the other 3 sides and then show you what it will look like. So this is what you should end up with. You have score marks just on these 4 tabs here, okay? So we're going to fold all of our score marks. And once they're folded, you will have 4 flaps with 1/4-inch gussets. So we're going to use some ribbon to close this, because it's going to be a little folio pocket that we put in our flap here. So I am going to cut 30 inches of my ribbon. And then the short flaps are your side flaps, and then the large flaps are your top and bottom flaps. So I'm going to fold the top and bottom flaps down, and then flip this over and center it on my mat. I'm going to center it a little bit closer to me. There. And then I'm going to take some score tape and add a strip down the whole center here, just like that. Now I can take my ribbon and place it on my score tape. I'm kind of gauging the center of my folio, my pocket folio. And then making sure that my ribbon is lined up on the center. And then I can just stick it down like so. Then a few more pieces of score tape across it to keep it from going anywhere. And now we can close this up. And add it to our lid. If you want, you can add this before you put it together, but it might be a little bit difficult. This is a 5 by 5, so you want a little bit over 1/2 inch all around. So I have a ruler here that can help me with that. And my paper, my pattern paper is 6 inches. So I'm just going to line my ruler up to my pattern paper, and then I can line up my folio, pocket folio, on that. Just like so. Now, take this out, and then open your folio up, and then you can burnish it really well. Make sure that it sticks. Close it back up. And our lid is done. Now we're going to work on the 6-inch box. For that, you will need 4 pieces that are just under 6 inches, so like 5 and 15/16. You just want a little bit off short of it so that it fits in the box and there's no hindering to it closing. And so 5 and 5/16, just shy of 6 inches by 6 1/4, and then 4 pieces that are 2 by just shy of 6 inches. And we are only going to be cutting the 6 by 6 1/4, and you want the 6 1/4 at the top, and we are going to score all 4 at 1/2 inch. And then we are going to fold and burnish on our score marks. And miter. We are leaving the so you want your 6-inch box base, and what we're going to do is take these flaps. I'm going to add glue to your tab, and then we're going to put them pinwheel style on our box sides, and you want to center them so that it's easy for you to close them. So, like this, okay? And then the next one is gonna go right here. If you want to do it the other direction, you can. I just chose to do it in this direction. Again, we're centering our flap on our box side as best as we can. Next piece is going to go right here. Centering our flap. And our last piece will go right here. Again, centering the flap on the box side. So when they're all on and you close it up, the flaps that we added on go in the inside, and it should fit like this. And then you should be able to put your lid on. Just like so. Now you want to add pattern paper to the flaps that you added on. I have my pattern paper on, and now we can put our 2-inch pieces on. These are going to be pockets, so they're just going to lay right along the edge, like so. So you want to add glue to the 2 short sides and 1 of the long sides. Careful not to add too much though. So just lay it right along the edge of the flap, like so. I'm going to burnish it really good to make sure that it sticks. And we're going to do that to all 4 of our flaps. If you didn't want a side pocket, but you wanted a if you wanted a vertical pocket, no. If you wanted a horizontal pocket instead of a vertical pocket, you can certainly do that. You will just need to cut them to 2 by 5 3/4. And test it out first before you glue it on. Do dry fit. Do a dry fit just to make sure that the flaps will close when you lift them up to close the box like this. Now we're going to work on the 4.5-inch box, and you want 8 pieces of ribbon that are about 10 inches long. And what we're going to do is we're going to put one of these on one side of each of the flaps. So I'm going to grab a ruler here, line it up, put score tape at 2 1/4 inches. And then I can stick my ribbon on. Making sure that it's centered. As best I can get it. And then stick some score tape on it. I'm going to do that to all 8 sides of my box here. For the flaps, you want 8 pieces that are 4 by 3.5. And you want the 3.5 inches at the top, and you're going to score all of them at 1/2 inch. Once they're all scored, you want to fold, burnish, and miter all of your pieces. Now we're going to take our flaps and we're going to put them over the ribbon we put down. And there's going to be 1/4 inch spacing on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to take a ruler, put it at the top at 1/4 inch, And then take my flap, line up the edge of my box side and my ruler, just like so. Then I'm going to take the second one and do the same thing. So add your glue. Quarter-inch spacing, top and bottom, lined up with the side. And there's the second one. Then just get tied. Like so. And you're going to do that to all 4 sides. For the last box, the 3-inch box, you need 4 pieces that are 2 by 3 1/4. On the 2-inch side, you're going to score at 1 inch, and then want to turn it so that the 3 1/4 is at the top, and then you're going to score at half and at 2 3/4. Again, you want to start with the 2 inches at the top, score at 1 inch, and turn it to the 3 1/4 and score at half an inch and at 2 3/4. You want to do that to all 4 pieces. Dakota, enough! Mama's working. Now you want to grab your scissors, your X-Acto knife, your paper trimmer, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then we're going to cut out the 2 tabs on one side. And you want to make sure to cut out the score mark as well. And then we're going to miter them out. And it's going to look like that. And then we're just going to miter the top 2 corners. So that your piece will look like this. And you want to do that to all 4 pieces. Once you're done cutting all your pieces, you want to fold and burnish on all your scar marks just like this. Now to put these together, we are going to fold in our 2 tabs, add glue to them, and stick the other side down. Just like that. Really easy. So once you have your pocket made, or your pockets made, want to grab your 3-inch box and you want to cover your sides with pattern paper like I have done. To glue these on, you want the tabs toward the back, and you want to glue just in the center of your pocket like this. And you want to put it 3/8 of an inch from the bottom and 3/8 of an inch from either side. Just like this. Now, these pockets are small, so you can't put very much in it, but they do expand because we are just gluing the center of our pocket down. Child, enough. Dakota. No. Enough. Now, our boxes are all done. You can leave them separate if you want, but now I'm going to show you how to attach them. Our boxes are 1.5 inches bigger than the smaller size inside. So if you want to do this, if you want to attach them, you want to do 3/4 inch spacing on all sides. I'm going to start with adding the medium size to the larger one. And I have my ruler where I need it. I'm going to add some glue to my base here. I'm going to fold one side in and then hold the two opposite sides so it looks like this, just to help me line everything up. Then just going to lay it down at 3/4. Once I'm happy where it is, open it up, and you want to burnish the bottom of the box really well. Just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with our 3-inch box. Got my 3-inch box here. Gonna remove the backing of the score tape I put down. Add some glue. Then again, fold one side, hold the other two like this. Then you want your ruler again lined up at 3/4 of an inch. And then you can lay it down. Just like so. And then burnish this one down really well. And there you go. When you close it up, all your lids go on top like this. And they fit really well inside each other. And then the largest one again, you want the flaps on the inside. Like this. And the lid goes on top. Like so. And your explosion box is done. I hope you enjoyed making this box with me. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more boxes, more albums, more practice I have planned in the future, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!